with the LA Kings and the Anaheim Ducks, and let's just go through the storylines in the NHL. I don't have a vote in this. I wish I did. The LA Kings are going to the playoffs. They have won 45 games this season. 2 years removed from really awful hockey, they have rebuilt this. And I think Rob Blake should be the general manager of the year because his acquisitions, whether it was the signing of Pierre Danault from the Montreal Canadiens 2 years ago, whether it was the trade that brought the 30-goal scorer Kevin Fiala from the Minnesota Wild, whether it was the drafting of young guys, and they've got a host of young guys that are all contributing. It was the ballsy trade of the goaltender Jonathan Quick and the discovery of Phoenix Copley, who's been raging hot as the Kings goaltender. That's a pretty good hockey team. Now they're going to run right face first, probably wind up having to face the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. But to be where they were 2 years ago to where they are tonight with 45 wins and a couple more games this season before the playoffs begin, Rob Blake is my general manager of the year. Let's talk about the Ducks. They're at the other end of the spectrum, and this has been painful, and this has really been awful. They are force-feeding all their young kids. The Ducks have struggled and won only 23 games, I think, out of the 78 that they've played. It's been really hard to put Trevor Zegras and Mason McTavish and Jamie Drysdale before he got hurt on the ice all together and say, go play those superstars. It's been a challenge. I hope it doesn't claim the career of the coach Dallas Eakins, the ex-Gulls coach, because I think he's really good. I think he's a thinking man's coach, but he's been positioned in a really tough situation by the new administration and the general manager that we got these kids, let's play these kids, they'll learn on the job. So it's been a real tough year. They're going to get a real high draft pick. I don't know if they're going to get the number 1 or the number 2 pick. I hope that they do, because the only way the Ducks are going to get back to being who they used to be, which would be in a playoff team and even maybe get in the Stanley Cup Finals, is they got to get these kids on the ice, get them experience. These kids have to grow together, and they're starting to grow. But like I say, 23 wins out of 78 games is not good. It's been a pitiful year for the San Diego Gulls. This is a direct response to what's happened in Anaheim with the Ducks taking all the kids and saying, we'll put them in the NHL. We're not going to play in the A. They've turned the roster over at midseason. Their season is almost over. They're in last place. They have the least number of wins in the American Hockey League. They have the worst goal scoring and the worst defense goals allowed in the AHL. And where they used to draw 12,000 per game on weekends from Christmas on, they're drawing 7 and 5s and 4,000. It's too bad. Unfortunately, it comes with being the farm club for a top team, because your responsibility is, if you win games, that's nice. Your responsibility is to get these kids ready to go to the NHL. It's really been a painful year. I don't know if there's going to be a house cleaning at the end of the season in terms of the Gulls leadership. I'm sorry. The Ducks destroyed a very good American Hockey League franchise. Hopefully it's an aberration. Hopefully, because they've signed a whole bunch of college kids and undrafted free agents in the last 3 weeks. Hopefully this is a one-time occurrence and Gulls hockey will bounce back to what Gulls hockey used to be. How about the Boston Bruins? Never happened. The Bruins have now won 63 games this season.
Wow.
They got 60 goal scorers led by David Pastrnak. Best team in the NHL, totally dominating everybody. We're a week out from the start of the playoffs, and it looks like their first-round matchup is going to be with the high-powered Toronto Maple Leafs. By the way, Boston Bruins hockey has not been like this since the Phil Esposito, Bobby Orr era, and that was a few slap shots ago, so that has really been impressive. And equally impressive is this guy in Edmonton, Connor McDavid of the Oilers. He now, with a week to go in the season, he's got 64 goals. He's got 87 assists. He's got 151 points. You talk about a generational player, and they're good. They got firepower. They got some holes on the back end defensively, and I think the Oilers have question marks in the crease. But think about those numbers, 151 points for Connor McDavid. The stats that he put up this year have not been put up since Mario Lemieux played for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the 1990s. So wow. This is a tremendous player. NHL playoffs are going to be unbelievable. And right now, the way these standings are falling, it might be the LA Kings against the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. And I love playoff hockey. Okay, so that's my thoughts standing on the blue line, firing slap shots. Yours.
Well, like talking about hockey, I mean, obviously the Bruins are going to be the heavy favorite going into the playoffs. Is there a team here that we should be looking at that, because I know playoff hockey is they take it up a number of notches of intensity. Is there a team here that we should be looking at as maybe a dark horse or a Cinderella that'd be a fun one to root for?
Well, I'm a Maple Leaf fan. It's only been a few years since 1967 that they raised the Stanley Cup, the richest team in the league. I'd hate to see them get knocked out in the first round, but that does look like you're playing the guys with the spoke wheel B on the front of their jerseys, Boston. Mm-hmm. Rangers are tough. I think the New York Rangers are something that you need to pay attention to. Edmonton's got enormous firepower. I just don't know if you can live through 4 rounds of the NHL playoffs thinking you can outscore everybody, because you're going to meet hot goaltenders. You're going to meet really good defensive teams. But I would say right off the top, those are the names worth watching. But I'm hoping we rally our American Hockey League team back, because the Gulls have a great tradition, and they had done a great job. But this is all on the Ducks front office, and they knew they had to rebuild the big club. I never thought that it would take its toll on the minor league team the way it has. I'm hoping it's just a one and done situation. We get back to Gulls hockey. I saw you sitting down there drinking beer behind the plexiglass, banging on the thing against the player from Bakersfield. I saw you.
That's right.
All right. One more.